So are you someone who just feels like you do every single thing right in the gym and in the kitchen and just can't seem to gain any muscle mass? If that sounds like you, then you are going to want to watch this video because I am going to be going over what I believe to be the top 4 reasons that people do not gain muscle mass when they think they're doing everything correctly, and we're going to start right now. But first, if you are new here, my name is Dale and I make weekly videos based off of improving your fitness and health. So if you are into any of that, please hit the subscribe button below. All right, so the first reason you're not gaining any muscle is going to be you're just not eating enough calories. So when you're losing weight, we know you're in a calorie deficit, and essentially what that is going to be is your body using what you have stored as well as the food you're taking in to burn energy, obviously resulting in weight loss. So when you're trying to put on muscle, it is optimal to have a slight caloric surplus. That way, none of that muscle is broken down along with the fat. Now, this surplus only needs to be about 100 to 200 calories realistically to be able to, 1, maintain your current weight and your current muscle mass, and 2, add on to that, because muscle isn't necessary for the body to perform its function. So when you're in a deficit that is too large, you're going to also be losing muscle. Your body does not need it to function. So your body doesn't need the muscle. So the larger the deficit, the more muscle that you lose. So when you're trying to gain muscle, obviously you need a slight surplus. Now, this isn't going crazy and getting fat. That is just going to add size to your body, yes, but if you stripped it down, it's not going to add a bunch of muscle. It's just going to add fat and water. Excess calories are also going to help you with your energy opposed to being in a deficit. If you're in that slight surplus, you're going to find you have more energy and you're able to lift heavier in the gym, resulting in another thing we're going to get to a little bit later on in this video. But how muscle is built, your body needs to use the nutrients to repair the muscle that you broke down in the gym, resulting in muscle gain, and you need those nutrients to recover, which is another reason why a slight surplus is going to be beneficial to increase muscle growth. The second reason why you are not building any muscle is very popular, and that is going to be that you are ego lifting. So what ego lifting is you load up too much weight on the bar, more weight than your muscles can handle, and you blow through the sticking points of the rep. So on a bench press, if you're sticking at the bottom and that's where you have a hard time, instead of working through it using lighter weights and building up that strength, you're just gonna bounce the weight off your chest just to get it up to the top. Ego lifting hurts muscle gain because you need to recruit the muscle fibers to gain muscle. So if you are not recruiting those muscle fibers, nothing is going to send the signal to the muscle that it needs to adapt and grow in order to meet that load next time. Another major reason why ego lifting is very bad in terms of muscle gain is that it is very high risk. So the chance of getting injured is much higher when you ego lift opposed to lifting with weights that your muscles and your body can control. Now, a big factor in muscle growth also, which you know, comes from consistency over time. And you can't be consistent if you're injured every other week or every other month. This is often overlooked when people lift to build muscle because they just think the heavier the weight, the more muscle they're gonna be able to build, and then they end up getting hurt. You cannot build muscle if you're not forcing it to adapt to a stimulus, and you can't get that stimulus if you're injured and can't use the muscle. So the third reason you're not building muscle is because you're not intense enough when you exercise. Now, there are 2 main ways to accelerate muscle growth in terms of in the weight room. The first one being overall volume, and the second one being overall intensity, or how close to failure you're getting per set. So these 2 factors have an inverse relationship. In when you increase your volume, your intensity must decrease. Your body can't handle it. If you're doing, say, 40 sets of chest, your intensity is not going to be close to failure throughout those 40 sets. It's literally impossible, and your nervous system will not be able to handle it, especially if you're moving heavy weights or optimal loads in terms of muscle building and strength gaining. While both methods are effective in muscle gaining, there's no reason to do any more than, say, 20 sets of a certain muscle group per week. To be optimal when you're pushing sets to failure, you're not going to even need to do any more than 10 sets per muscle group per week in order to see some serious results. But like I said, imagine doing 20 sets of bench press at 225 pounds to failure it's not even possible to do. You're not going to have any success that way. You have to either pick, you want to increase the volume or you want to increase your intensity. You're not going to be able to do both. Again, increasing volume is just increasing the reps and sets, so the overall amount of weight you're lifting per workout. And increasing intensity is going to be pushing sets closer and closer to failure 1 rep shy, or maybe 2 failure, or even going past failure in some instances using a spotter and using other high intensity techniques. When focusing on muscle growth, try and think of every set, are you giving your muscles a reason to get stronger? Are you giving them a stimulus that they have to overcome? And the only way to overcome that is by getting stronger or growing. And the fourth mistake that I think a ton of people make and is very overlooked is that you're just not taking fitness as a whole serious enough. So if you're trying to build muscle, right? You're looking at the guy in the gym that hits 225 for a set of 12 reps and he looks real good. The biggest difference between him and everybody else in the gym, other than genetics, is that he just takes it seriously when he's out of the gym as well. That means that your nutrition is on point, your training is on point, your sleep is on point, your recovery is on point. Just knowing that there's a lot of factors other than just going to the gym and swiping your card to gaining muscle. We already touched on consistency a little bit, and I talked about in plenty of my videos how that is by far the most important thing when trying to become healthier or improve your fitness in any way. But taking it seriously is a huge factor in muscle gain. Like we touched on earlier, your calories are gonna want to be in a slight 100 to 200 calorie surplus. You're gonna wanna make sure you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night. You're gonna want to make sure you're letting those muscles recover. Remember, if your muscles are not recovering, they're not going to be growing. When you're lifting, you are tearing the muscle fibers, and when your muscles grow, it is because the body repaired that muscle stronger to be able to handle the stimulus that you just gave it. If your recovery is not on point, your muscles are never growing, they're never being repaired, and that could be why you're stuck. Same thing with sleep. If you are not sleeping properly, your workouts are gonna take a hit, your body's gonna take a hit in general, and it's going to affect your fitness. Remember, muscle is not necessary for the body to function. There's no reason to have a bunch of muscle. So if you want to get a bunch of muscle, you need to be doing everything else right. That way your body is okay with keeping it around. It's not just gonna grow muscle for no reason. For some people, weightlifting is enough if they are subconsciously taking all of these other things into effect, such as their nutrition, their sleep, and their recovery. If you are somebody who is getting poor sleep, you're not recovering at all, you're weightlifting every single day, and you're not eating properly, giving your body the right nutrients to build muscle, then that could be why your body is not growing any muscle. It's not really rocket science, and don't listen to people when they say it's 50% diet, 50% training. Or don't listen to people, for that matter, that say it's 33% diet, 33% training, 33% sleep. You can't put percentages on these things. Just make sure they're all on point. Make sure you're optimizing everything, and you're going to get results. Do not worry about it. If you do all these things, your body is going to thank you for it, and you're going to see the muscle growth that you have been waiting for. So I hope this video helped you guys out if you are having trouble gaining muscle. So if you learned anything of value, smash that like button. And if you like these straight to the point fitness videos and want to see more of them, hit the subscribe button as well. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.